To remove those damaged threads and open up the bottom bracket so that a sleeve will fit inside, I'm going to use the boring head in my milling machine. I clamped the frame to the table. I then adjusted my boring head out to a diameter slightly larger than the damaged threads. I really took my time boring out the bottom bracket shell. I did it in multiple passes so I didn't remove too much material. Now that I've got the bottom bracket bored out for a new sleeve, I need to make the sleeve. I have this old Trek frame that has a cracked head tube. I used my Sawzall and I cut out its bottom bracket shell. That left a really rough surface, so I mounted it in my drill press and I used a 1/2-inch end mill to remove as much excess material as I could. Because I'm going to mount this in the lathe, I need to get it as round as I can, so I used my belt sander to remove any remaining material. I then mounted it in the lathe and I turned down until I had a good consistent finish. To make sure it was as centered as possible, I used a dial indicator to measure the runout. So when I was happy with how well centered the shell was in the lathe, I turned it down to final dimension. I inserted the sleeve into the frame and I used my hydraulic press to press it in place. So here's a look at how the sleeve turned out. I cleaned it up after I installed it with a Scotch-Brite pad just to make sure that it was clean, and then I threaded in a bottom bracket to make sure it fit.